Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and this week we are taking you throughout our local area to do some grocery shopping. We are trying our best to keep our grocery budget low, so we've shopped our shelves and we have a list of a few items that my husband would like, and I said, hey, let me try and home make them. So we have milk on the list, some veggies, meat, things of that nature. So I always encourage you to shop local if you're able to, and if you align with their practices. Sometimes we find local farms that just don't align with our practices, and that's okay. It's okay to have a variety in your shopping budget. So if you're new here, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. I am a wife, mother to 3, newly stay-at-home mom and homesteader, and I make videos all about staying on a budget and being prepared for whatever life throws at you. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely hit the subscribe button, and let's get into our travels. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. This weekend. Yeah. Alrighty, we are home. We spent right around $26. I did give a $1 tip to the veggies, but we have some cabbage for halushki and some coleslaw. We have a beet for pickled egg beets. We have cucumber, asparagus. We have red bell pepper. Tomato was from something else. A cantaloupe, that's our fruit for the week. We have heavy cream for maybe some ice cream or Cool Whip or whipped cream, whatever. We have regular milk, and then we have chicken breasts. So, we also have a block of cheese in there. And that's pretty much all we really needed, I guess. We didn't even really need some of it, but I got a deal on the veggies if I bought an extra 2 things. So I ended up grabbing that, and I'm gonna kind of go through our meal plan for the week and what we do when it comes to bulk buying in certain stores. So I will sit down with you and chat in a little bit, but very excited to support local and get some good quality ingredients. Okay, hello, it is quite a bit later, and I finally had a chance to kind of sit down and chat with you. So I have a few bullet points in my head, and I'm really going to try and make this brief, but you know how I get with this kind of thing. So I have a few heavy topics I want to discuss, and I'm going to try and not breeze through them, but touch upon them without emotion. I feel like emotion is really dragging us all into some sort of frenzy. So starting off with our grocery budget, and starting off with a very strong point of mine, the vegetables that we got today. When I was talking in the beginning of the video about practices that we align with, I mean non-GMO, I mean organic, and I mean just good quality, salt of the earth people that, care about the community. That's really important to us. So this farm checks off some of those, but they do spray their crops. So a lot of these crops are not organic. They were the OGs, the original farm in the area, and it's a family business. The family is so kind and giving, and their crops are pretty delicious. I will say there has been many a time where I have gone there and I have chatted with the head farmer, with the family, and I just felt so at home. This farm also puts a lot of their produce that they can't sell on the side of the road, and it's a pay what you can. And if you don't have anything, then there's no issue. And I just feel like that's so very important. So that bag of veggies that I got was $8, and that's kind of unheard of. So I'm swapping out the experience, and I'm swapping out, I guess, that the good in that farm for glyphosate essentially. And I talk about this on my channel a lot, how I am trying to cut it out entirely. But you know, if you are 80-20 on this wellness journey, on this healing journey, then you know that stress is going to be your number one cause. So like that 20% is okay. As long as I'm not stressing myself out and my own family, then I'm okay with getting a week's worth of veggies and having those chemicals on it. I can only do so much to wash it. And that led me to start thinking about the grocery store in general. It's a really hard experience for me. I'm not going to lie. Motherhood has not come easy to me. It's beautiful and amazing, and I deeply love it and care for my children, but it's very tricky to take them to the grocery store and keep a level mind. I will say maybe 6 months ago, this would have been impossible for me. I was in probably the darkest time of my life, and a lot of people question that, like it didn't look like I was, and I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I try and keep a professional appearance when it comes to social media. Obviously, social media can be such a lie, but you know, it is my job. So it's my job to come on here in a professional way, but I also like to be real and truthful. So part of this healing journey has been just that. And once I started getting my supplements and everything aligned right in postpartum, started nourishing myself and moving my body, it was easy for me to get, you know, my head in the game when it comes to something as simple as going to the grocery store. So that really led me into starting to research my local grocery store. We go to King Soopers, which is a Kroger brand or a Kroger company, I guess, out here in Colorado. And they have really great discounted things, and we love that. And they also have a lot of sales if you sign up for their coupons or whatever, which is free, which is really cool. But they also have some practices that I don't align with. And I don't know the name of the company. I'll drop it right here. But I implore you to, I guess, go into your grocery store and ask the produce manager if they have this in the spray that sprays on top of the organic and non-organic produce. And why I say that is a huge chemical that is being sprayed on organic and non-organic. So in turn, it's just making that organic produce, which isn't always perfect. It's making it, you know, not the best. It's making it equal to the veggies that are next to it that are non-organic. So again, I'm going to try and work through this, but I will leave that down in the description as well. That term, that is like the head company that makes this product that they spray generally in my part of the country. I'm not really sure where you're from, but you'll have to look into that. So that is what I was going to say. And then I was going to move on to our meal plan. And I don't have anything special, regimented, and not special, scheduled and regimented for you. I just go off of what we have, and I'm going to compete with the air conditioner, so I apologize. You know, I go off of what we have. So a lot of things are protein and a grain and a veggie. I grew up like that. So I think about recipes that I ate growing up, and they were pretty basic, you know. So I always have meat in the freezer. It's usually discounted meat, and we work with what we have. And I used to say, someday we're not going to eat expired food, but at the same time, even if we were wealthy, I feel like we would shop like this. And I know I've connected with some of you about this, and you have said the same thing. It's just a thrill for me. It might be a problem, but it's a thrill for me to get things at a very discounted price. My dad's a total bargain shopper, so I think I get it from him. And we are always calling each other and swapping like what we got on clearance that week. So I would say my mom's a pretty good clearance shopper too, but I get a thrill out of it. So I always have those kinds of things. And what I do is just go to the grocery store, Kroger, King Soopers, and I just scan for reduced price. I never go in there with a meal plan. I just go off of what's on sale, and then I go from there. And if there's, you know, bacon, for instance, that was $2.80 the other week, and it came down from $7.99, I grabbed 4 of those. And I know that may sound silly, but we're absolutely going to use it. And that really has helped us save money, having that discounted sticker. And if you're new here, you probably don't know that we are moving to a small rural town in Pennsylvania, and they don't have things like that. So I am very curious to know what we're gonna do, but the plan is to have some sort of land and some sort of small farm or homestead that could feed us. And it's very easy to obtain locally grown meat or wild caught fish or something like that. So I'm not too worried, but that is a main source of our savings. And then shopping our shelves, making something into nothing. I talked about this with a family member while they were out here, but a big thing I see is a lot of people I know personally and a lot of people that I see online and stuff, they will run out to the grocery store for an ingredient for the meal that night, and that wastes gas. If you're out in a rural area like me, 2, when you go to the grocery store, you're probably not just going to pick up one thing unless you have willpower, I guess. And then 3, you're spending some extra money when you could have used up something on the shelf. So that food is probably going to waste, but maybe you donate it, and maybe you do eat expired food like we do. But the point being, that saves us a ton of money. It also exposes my children to a very unique palate, I would say. So they are not too picky. It just depends on what we're doing that day. They're not perfect eaters. I'm not a perfect eater, but that really helps. And then lastly is just savings and using those coupons whenever we can, and just trying to make a general plan. So we are having a lot of burgers with a side. We're having a lot of spaghetti and just the classics. Tacos are a big thing, and breakfast for dinner always saves us money. We are lucky we have chickens and ducks, so eggs do not come at upfront cost. It does cost to feed them and shelter them and water them, but other than that, we do have a protein source right in our backyard. And there are a lot of free options out there when it comes to families that don't have that food security. So dial your local 211. They are there to help you. That is your resource. They're there to help you. And I get emails quite a bit because I do offer me calling for you or me finding food in your area. And I will say I have never called and not gotten some help, and it's not even for me, it's for somebody else. So again, I feel like if you're uncomfortable making the call, I totally get that. I can still help you. Just email me, or if you feel comfortable, comment below. But there's food out there, and I promise it can get to you. We're very fortunate to be able to feed ourselves, and that never goes, I never go a day being ungrateful for that, but I promise you there is food out there. And if you're not really comfortable dialing 211, you can go to your food pantries and utilize them. See what they can do. Oftentimes you can volunteer at those places if it makes you somehow uncomfortable taking food, if that makes sense. And then another option I wanted to talk about was gleaning, and that is when you go to a farm after season and basically pick the fields for them, pick all that extra crop, and they give it to you, or it's like $5 or something like that. And if you are skilled in food preservation, which I have a ton of videos about that, then you could pretty much have some food for free for the whole year. And then another option I kind of wanted to group into this is if you do have food security and you have a little extra, maybe spend an extra $5 to $10 a week and put out a free pantry on or around your property, or maybe get involved with another family and you could have some sort of free pantry outside. If you have an extra spot in your garden to maybe grow some vegetables and put them out, that would be another item. And it could even be a bartering system, so you could get something in return. I do that with a lot of my friends in the area here, and I really love the connections that we've made. And honestly, community is really what's going to bring us together in these hard times. And with that being said, I'm going to touch on my last topic, and I'm going to try my best not to get on one side. I'm all about approaching things with a neutral mind, and I'm all about approaching things with logic. You really need to start looking at things through your own eyes and not through the news or somebody on social media. So I know I'm talking to you on social media, but that was something I really needed to hear. And that's what really helped me kind of unlearn what the government and what society was teaching us, was conditioning us to start doing. If you keep up with everything that's going on, I'm sure you've seen a lot this week. And, I've seen a lot of issue when it comes to our government and when it comes to certain individuals, but specifically a law that is being passed. And I'm not going to go into it because I'm not a numbers girl, but you know who I am. I am someone who can read people pretty well, and I'm a good judge of character. So I don't know, that's a skill I have, but numbers aren't my thing. So I don't know too much about this, but Google capital gains and Google what that could do to you and to your family, because I feel like that might affect our move if we don't get a move on it. So I'm trying to smile through it, but I have been super stressed out lately, and that just like added an extra little thing, and it's been super hard. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna get on and chat about this. You all know I struggle with anxiety, but it's been a challenge these last couple of weeks to, I guess, not predict the future, but see what the future holds for our family, because we have worked so very hard to get where we are, but it is a huge hill that we're gonna have to climb if that law passes, and I know a lot of you will too. And look at the tax brackets, specifically the numbers, and really ask yourself if you want to be supporting that, because I know in my heart that I don't. It's out of control. I mean, the government is just on this huge spree of deceiving us and taking our money, essentially. I always say follow the money. So if you're new here, we don't get into these chats too often anymore because I'm trying to protect my peace. And with anxiety comes with, you know, people on the internet just coming by with comments and me trying to shake it off. But it really hurts my feelings when people are mean to me. And I know that sounds really silly and sad, but it's something that I take to heart, because again, like I said in my last video, I know in my heart I am just trying to help and have a friendly, open conversation, but emotions have been brought into this so much lately, and selfishness. So I know what I just said, you know, will affect me, but I know for the greater good, it will affect you too. So I hope these tips were helpful today. I hope this encourages you to check out some local spots. And I, was going to talk about bulk buying, but it's not something we're doing right now just because we're moving so soon. It would be silly to buy, my classic 50 pounds of rice or flour. But when we do that, we usually do that at Azure standard, unless we get beans, and we do that locally. So I encourage you to look into bulk buying. I encourage you to look into local farms who you align with. And I encourage you to always shop the sale. If we are seeing anything in these last few months, it is so important to start saving now, start stocking up. Why not save some money now and stock up on those items that are cheaper, like rice and a canned protein or a canned vegetable, and keep a few of those on hand. So in a year, you're not going to be having to pay an extreme inflated price. So our goal here is to really stop just dealing with inflation and kind of roll with it and just say no to all of those prices just flying up there, skyrocketing, and it's only going to get worse. And unfortunately, with inflation comes food insecurity, and it also comes with food shortages. I haven't talked about that in a while on my channel because that was majority of the negative comments saying that it's not happening. Well, I always say it's not all about you. There are food shortages. I've seen it in my area. I've heard it from you all. It's out there. You just need to be more observant. I find that that characteristic is one of the most important things to have in your back pocket during these wild, uncertain times. So with that being said, again, I was trying not to talk your ear off, but here we are. But if you're new here, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. Definitely introduce yourself in the comments down below, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.